Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. The Kennedy half dollar is one of the most iconic coins in American history, but the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial edition holds a truly special place in the hearts of collectors. Struck to celebrate the 200th anniversary of American independence, this commemorative coin is far more than just a piece of currency. It is a symbol of heritage, patriotism, and rare craftsmanship. While millions of these coins were minted, only a tiny number stand out as exceptionally valuable, and today, we're going to uncover the fascinating story behind one such coin that could be worth a jaw-dropping amount of money. When you hold a 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar in your hand, you're holding a piece of American celebration. The obverse side features the enduring portrait of President John F. Kennedy, sculpted by Gilroy Roberts, a design that has remained unchanged since the coin's debut in 1964. But flip the coin over, and you'll see something unique. The reverse showcases Independence Hall in Philadelphia, designed by Seth G. Huntington, with the dual dates 1776 to 1976, inscribed proudly above. This wasn't just currency, it was a tribute to a nation's revolutionary spirit. The bicentennial half dollars weren't minted for just 1 year. Production began in 1975 and continued through 1976, but none of these coins bear a 1975 date. Instead, every single one was stamped with the dual year marking to honor America's 200th birthday. That detail alone makes them a collectible item, but the real magic lies in the types of metals used and the special mint marks that elevate some versions to legendary status. Most of these coins were struck in copper nickel for everyday circulation, but a limited number were made with a special 40% silver composition. These silver-clad versions were never released into regular circulation and were only sold in collector sets. That's where the story takes a rare turn. Some of those coins, due to errors, unique mint conditions, or historical quirks, are now considered treasures beyond belief. Imagine a coin minted not only with silver, but with perfect surfaces, razor-sharp details, and absolutely no signs of wear, a coin preserved as though it had just rolled off the minting press. These are called proof, or specimen, coins, and they are extremely rare, especially in pristine condition. Some of them were struck in San Francisco, marked with an S mint mark, and came in special government-issued sets. If you own one in flawless condition, you're holding something of real beauty and remarkable value. Among coin collectors, grade matters. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with MS-70 being a perfect, uncirculated coin. The closer a coin gets to MS-70, the more desirable it becomes. The most valuable Kennedy half-dollar bicentennials are those that score 68, 69, or the elusive 70 on this scale. But even among high grades, there are coins that seem to defy the odds, coins that were either never released to the public or struck under mysterious and undocumented conditions. One of the most fascinating elements about the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar is the sheer volume produced. Over 500 million were minted. But rarity isn't just about numbers, it's about condition, composition, and timing. Some of the highest priced coins on the market today weren't just silver. They were error coins, struck on the wrong planchet, double-die obverse, or featuring off-center strikes. These rare anomalies are like winning lottery tickets in your pocket change. Then there are coins with provenance, those that were once part of a famous collection, featured in exhibitions, or owned by legendary numismatists. The story behind a coin can sometimes increase its value tenfold. For example, a silver-proof coin in a government-issued box may be worth a few dollars, but one with documented historical importance and perfect condition could fetch thousands, even tens of thousands. Another element that adds massive value is what collectors call toning. Over time, some silver coins develop natural colors from oxidation, shades of gold, blue, or even violet that swirl across the surface like a painted sky. When this toning is attractive and natural, it doesn't diminish the coin's value, it multiplies it. A beautifully toned 1776 to 1976 half-dollar can command enormous interest in auctions, where passionate collectors compete for the rarest examples. Believe it or not, there are also deep cameo proofs, coins where the portrait and lettering are frosty white, while the background fields are mirror-like. These are the holy grail of bicentennial Kennedy half-dollars, especially when they come straight from sealed sets and have been untouched since 1976. Finding one in perfect condition is like finding treasure hidden in plain sight. Let's not forget that the historical significance of this coin adds emotional weight for collectors. It represents a bridge between generations, those who remember the American bicentennial celebrations and those who now cherish the symbols of that era. Collecting such coins isn't just a hobby, it's a way to preserve a nation's journey through time. As time goes on, coins from the 1970s are becoming increasingly valuable, especially as fewer remain in high-quality condition. Most circulated coins from that time have scratches, worn features, or other damage. That's why a coin that has survived for nearly 50 years in pristine condition is so desirable. It's a survivor, a relic that speaks volumes. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers have seen intense bidding wars over these half-dollars. One recently discovered coin with unmatched quality and a unique striking error drew so much attention that it shocked even seasoned dealers. That moment became a turning point in how collectors viewed the potential of these coins. Stories continue to emerge of people discovering old coins in their grandparents' collections, tucked away in forgotten boxes or folders. What may look like a common coin at first glance can sometimes be a rare gem worth investigating. All it takes is a trained eye, or a lucky find, to uncover something of immense value. If you're holding a Kennedy half-dollar dated 1776 to 1976, especially one with a silver composition, deep cameo contrast, or a rare mint error, you might be sitting on a gold mine. Get it appraised by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. You never know, the coin you thought was worth 50 cents might actually be life-changing. The thrill of coin collecting is not just in the buying and selling, it's in the hunt. Every collector dreams of finding that one coin, that one elusive piece of history that transforms their entire collection. For some, that dream became a reality with a coin minted to honor the birth of a nation. As we wrap up this journey through one of the most iconic commemorative coins ever made, remember, history, rarity, beauty, and condition all collide to create value. And sometimes, hidden within an old envelope or dusty drawer, a seemingly ordinary Kennedy half-dollar dated 1776 to 1976 turns out to be worth an extraordinary amount. Because yes, one such rare Kennedy half-dollar from the bicentennial series was recently valued at $150,000. Top 2. In the world of coin collecting, certain years seem to rise above the rest, and 1972 is one of those unforgettable years for the Kennedy half-dollar. While many Americans may recall this coin from their childhood change jars or holiday rolls, few realize that among these millions of coins lies a version so rare, so pristine, and so historically unique that it has stunned even the most seasoned numismatists. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar is more than a 50-cent piece. It's a time capsule of American heritage and a potential fortune waiting to be discovered. Introduced in 1964 as a tribute to the fallen President John F. Kennedy, the half-dollar quickly became a symbol of national unity and remembrance. The public's admiration for JFK was so profound that people hoarded the first releases, keeping them as keepsakes rather than spending them. That enthusiasm continued well into the 1970s, with the coin remaining in circulation but rarely seen in everyday transactions due to its iconic design and increasing collector interest. By 1972, the Kennedy half-dollar was in its 9th year of production. Although the frenzy had slightly faded from its early days, the mint continued producing these coins in large quantities. That year alone, over 280 million coins were struck across 3 major facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But hidden among those millions are coins that never made it into circulation, coins that were struck differently, stored differently, and survived in nearly flawless condition. The design remained consistent from previous years, with the obverse bearing the noble profile of President Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts. His hairline, neckline, and the soft contours of his features are instantly recognizable. On the reverse, sculptor Frank Gasparo's patriotic design shows the presidential seal, a majestic eagle with a shield, arrows in one talon, and an olive branch in the other. Encircling the eagle are stars representing the original 13 colonies, a subtle but powerful reminder of America's roots. What makes the 1972 Kennedy $50 fascinating isn't just its patriotic imagery, but the variety of ways it was minted. In Philadelphia, coins bore no mint mark. Denver coins carried a small D on the obverse, and San Francisco produced coins with an S mark, many of which were made for special collector sets. It is these San Francisco pieces, particularly the 1972 S-proof strikes and silver-clad versions, that have captured collectors' imaginations and driven incredible auction prices. While most 1972 $50 are made from copper nickel clad, some special versions were struck in 40% silver, specifically for collectors. These silver specimens were never intended for general circulation, and many were sold directly to the public in proof and uncirculated sets. Because they were handled more carefully, many remain in pristine condition, but that's only part of what makes them valuable. The real excitement begins when collectors uncover error coins. Double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet errors dramatically increase a coin's value. Some 1972 Kennedy $50 were struck with rotated dies, leading to misaligned designs. Others were minted using proof dies by mistake, creating mirror-like surfaces on circulation coins. These kinds of anomalies are extremely rare and command top dollar when verified and graded by professionals. Coin grading is a crucial factor when determining value. The 70-point Sheldon scale is used, with coins graded MS mint state or PR proof from 1 to 70. Most 1972 $50 fall between MS-60 and MS-64, but an MS-67 or MS-68 version becomes exponentially more valuable. Those few that score MS-69 or even MS-70 are viewed as museum-quality examples, often worthy of record-breaking prices. And then there's I appeal. A perfectly struck Kennedy $50 with blazing luster, bold devices, and brilliant surfaces stands out instantly. Some even develop beautiful natural toning over the decades, golds, blues, or purples that swirl across the surface like a living piece of art. Toned coins, when naturally developed and aesthetically pleasing, can drive collectors into bidding frenzies. Let's not forget the deep cameo proofs, those stunning coins where the frosted details contrast dramatically against mirror-like fields. A 1972 S deep cameo proof in perfect condition is a showstopper. Not only are they rare, but they also represent the finest output the U.S. Mint could produce at the time, preserved in government-sealed packaging that has protected them for over half a century. Interestingly, 1972 also saw a handful of Kennedy $50 that were never released or were struck under experimental conditions. Some reports speak of patterns or trial strikes that were never meant to be circulated or sold. Only a handful ever made their way into private hands. These ultra-rare pieces are virtually priceless to collectors who seek the obscure and one-of-a-kind. Many of these extraordinary coins are found purely by chance. People open old proof sets stored away in closets, or dig through inherited coin albums and discover an untouched, high-grade 1972 coin with all the qualities of a high-value gem. Others find treasure at estate sales, thrift shops, or local auctions, where a keen eye and a bit of luck make all the difference. Collectors love a good story, and the 1972 Kennedy $50 delivers. It's not just about silver and copper, it's about history, tribute, and chance. It's about a coin that commemorates a beloved president and a nation that still feels the weight of his legacy. Every time someone discovers a rare variant or an ultra-high-grade example, it reawakens a sense of wonder in the numismatic community. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have played a major role in identifying and certifying the finest known 1972 $50. With detailed population reports and secure encapsulation, these services not only preserve the coin but also authenticate its rarity, giving collectors confidence and fueling excitement. The value of Kennedy half dollars from this year continues to climb as interest grows and high-quality examples disappear from the market. It's a thrilling time for anyone holding these coins, because as demand increases, so does the possibility that one forgotten piece could become the next great auction headline. Now more than ever, coin collecting has become more than a hobby, it's an investment. With inflation, digital currencies, and economic uncertainty, hard assets like rare coins are gaining popularity. The 1972 Kennedy half dollar is a shining example of this trend, offering both historical significance and massive financial potential. So, if you come across a 1972 Kennedy half dollar, especially one with mirror surfaces, silver composition, or an unusual strike, don't overlook it. Get it appraised, graded, and researched. Because hiding in that 50-cent piece could be a prize far beyond your wildest imagination. And believe it or not, one such exceptional 1972 Kennedy half dollar, flawlessly struck, certified, and treasured, was recently valued at $144,000. Top 3. The Kennedy half dollar has long been more than just a coin, it's a symbol of legacy, remembrance, and patriotism. Among all the years of its minting, the 1973 edition holds a unique fascination for collectors. While it may appear to be just another half dollar to the casual observer, hidden within this year's mintage lies a story of rarity, precision, and incredible value that continues to mesmerize the numismatic world. The year 1973 was a turning point in U.S. coinage. Unlike previous years, the Mint did not release Kennedy half dollars for general circulation. That's right, none of the 1973 Kennedy half dollars were released for everyday use. Every single one was struck exclusively for collector sets. This crucial detail alone sets the 1973 coin apart, making it more elusive and desirable from the start. This year's Kennedy half dollar still bore the iconic obverse design sculpted by Gilroy Roberts, a noble, forward-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy. His image remains a symbol of hope and youth, forever captured in metal. The reverse side, designed by Frank Gasparo, continued to feature the powerful presidential seal, an eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows and an olive branch, encircled by stars and a ring of glory. What elevates the 1973 issue beyond its commemorative roots is the way it was struck. Unlike circulation coins, these were minted with greater care, sharper detail, and, in some cases, were struck multiple times to ensure flawless presentation. As a result, high-grade examples are more likely among this year's coins, but the demand for perfection is relentless in the world of serious coin collecting. Coins were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Those from San Francisco were special proof coins, featuring mirror-like fields and frosted details. These mint-marked coins are especially attractive to collectors due to their deep cameo contrasts and precise craftsmanship. Proof coins like these were sold in specially packaged sets and never intended to touch circulation. The 1973 Kennedy half dollar has also been the subject of some fascinating errors and anomalies. Some were struck with doubled dies, showing slight but noticeable duplications on the lettering or details of the coin. Others were minted slightly off-center, or using worn dies that give the coin a ghostly appearance. These oddities, though rare, are extremely valuable to collectors who seek one-of-a-kind treasures. Another element that drives up the desirability of the 1973 half dollar is condition. Coins that have been untouched since their original packaging, stored carefully away from air, moisture, and human hands, can remain in brilliant uncirculated or proof condition. When these pristine examples are submitted to grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, the highest scores can bring astonishing value. Toning can also affect value in surprising ways. Some 1973 Kennedy half dollars developed natural oxidation over the decades, leading to stunning, multicolored surfaces in hues of blue, gold, and purple. When the toning is visually pleasing and occurs evenly across the coin, it can actually enhance its market value and desirability. Then there's the matter of population. Even though these coins were made for collectors, only a limited number have survived in perfect condition. Most were handled, dropped, stored improperly, or otherwise exposed to elements that degraded their appearance. Those rare few that remain in top-grade condition are now highly sought after and can command immense prices at auctions and private sales. Auction houses have witnessed heated battles over flawless examples of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar. In recent years, collectors have become more aware of the rarity and value of this issue. Coins that once sat unnoticed in forgotten drawers are now fetching premium bids when authenticated and preserved to modern standards. It's not just about condition or rarity, it's also about timing. As the collector market continues to grow, especially among younger generations, demand for classic U.S. coins has risen dramatically. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, once overlooked, is now viewed as a gem hiding in plain sight. And for those who act quickly, the opportunity to find a valuable specimen is still within reach. Stories often surface of everyday people who rediscover a coin from a family album or a forgotten set, only to learn that it holds extraordinary value. One collector found an untouched proof set from 1973 stored in a family safe, and upon grading the half-dollar inside, it received a near-perfect score, skyrocketing its value instantly. These coins represent more than monetary worth. They carry emotional and historical weight, reminders of an era, of a president, of craftsmanship rarely matched in today's minting standards. Every time one is examined under a loupe or admired under soft light, it tells a silent story of the American spirit. The Kennedy half-dollar from 1973 is proof that sometimes, beauty and value can be hidden in the most unassuming places. Its clean surfaces, sharp lines, and commanding design make it one of the most desirable coins from the 1970s. Whether in proof or uncirculated condition, this coin has captured the imagination of collectors across generations. Coin shows, online auctions, and collector conventions continue to highlight the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar as a key date in the series. Dealers often recommend it as a top pick for investors and newcomers to numismatics alike. It has become a benchmark coin, one that defines a serious collector's portfolio. Even international collectors are turning their eyes to the 1973 half-dollar. With its striking appearance and historical importance, it transcends borders and attracts admiration from all corners of the globe. Its value is not just in rarity, but in the universal respect for the man whose image it bears. So, if you ever come across a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, especially one in untouched condition or nestled within its original proof set, take a closer look. You might be holding something far more valuable than you ever imagined, because, believe it or not, one incredibly rare and flawless 1973 Kennedy half-dollar was recently valued at $140,000. Top 4. In the world of American coinage, few series have captured the hearts of collectors quite like the Kennedy half-dollar. Minted as a tribute to one of the most beloved presidents in U.S. history, each year of its production tells a different story. The 1981 Kennedy half-dollar, in particular, carries a special kind of allure. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin from the early 80s, but when you take a closer look, you'll discover that the 1981 edition hides some of the most compelling and valuable secrets in the entire series. The story of the Kennedy half-dollar began in 1964, shortly after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin was designed and released in record time, as a nation mourned and sought to honor the young leader's legacy. Over the years, the coin became more than just currency. It evolved into a symbol of hope, remembrance, and pride. By the time 1981 arrived, the Kennedy half-dollar had already cemented its place as a collector's favorite. But 1981 was not a typical year. The United States Mint had started reducing the mintage of half-dollars for circulation due to declining public demand. By then, the coin was rarely seen in everyday transactions. Most people no longer received them in change, and banks seldom requested new shipments. This made the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar much scarcer in public hands compared to earlier years. The coins minted in 1981 came from 3 facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. But unlike in earlier decades, the coins struck in San Francisco were not for general use. These were collector-only issues. proof, and uncirculated versions meant specifically for coin enthusiasts. And it's in these collector sets that the rarest and most valuable 1981 Kennedy half-dollars were hidden. Proof coins from San Francisco were carefully struck with polished dies and specially treated planchets, producing a mirror-like surface and frosted details. These are the coins that truly showcase the stunning artistry of the Kennedy half-dollar. The detail in Kennedy's hair, the depth in the eagle's feathers, and the contrast between the design and the background make them absolutely mesmerizing. A small number of 1981 Kennedy half-dollars stand out because of their flawless condition and remarkable quality. These coins were never touched by human hands, never circulated, and were stored in sealed packaging from the day they left the mint. When submitted for professional grading, some of these coins received near-perfect or perfect grades, an extremely rare feat that places them in a category of their own. Coin grading plays a crucial role in determining a coin's value. On the 70-point scale, a coin graded PR 70, Proof 70, is considered perfect in every way. Such coins are free from blemishes, scratches, or flaws even under magnification. The 1981 S-Proof Kennedy half-dollar in PR 70 condition is exceptionally rare and incredibly valuable. Some of the most valuable versions of the 1981 half-dollar also include varieties. One notable variation is the Type 2 proof reverse. In 1981, two different reverse dies were used. Type 1 featured a bold, filled S mint mark, while Type 2 displayed a clearer, more delicate S. The Type 2 is much rarer and more desirable, especially in pristine condition. Beyond varieties, some era coins from 1981 have surfaced, making headlines in the numismatic community. Off-center strikes, double dies, and other minting mistakes have all been found in Kennedy half-dollars from this year. These errors are few and far between, but when authenticated, they can skyrocket in value due to their extreme scarcity. What makes these rare finds even more thrilling is that many of them remain undiscovered. There could be proof sets or mint rolls sitting in attics, basements, or safety deposit boxes, untouched since the day they were purchased in 1981. It's these forgotten treasures that often make the leap from everyday collectible to five-figure masterpiece. Collectors have long known that the 1981 half-dollar was the last year this coin would be included in mint sets until the program resumed in 1987. That 6-year gap has elevated the 1981 edition as a key date in the series. Missing it from a collection creates a glaring hole, making high-grade examples even more desirable and competitive at auction. Coin shows and online auctions are full of stories about 1981 Kennedy half-dollars breaking price records. Dealers and collectors alike continue to chase the finest known specimens, whether they're ultra-cameo-proof strikes, rare mint errors, or simply coins with incredible visual appeal. Every new discovery pushes the boundaries of what this coin can be worth. While the Kennedy half-dollar is still in limited production today, modern examples don't carry the same mystique and collector fire as those from the earlier decades. That's why coins like the 1981 half-dollar hold such a strong position. They represent the last wave of true collector-era craftsmanship, history, and hidden value. The beauty of coin collecting is that anyone can participate. Whether you've been collecting for years or just stumbled upon an old set in your family's collection, there's always the chance that your coin could be something truly special. The 1981 Kennedy half-dollar proves that even a modern coin can become a rare treasure when the conditions are just right. And if you think these coins are only valuable to professionals or museums, think again. The most expensive coins often come from ordinary people with an eye for detail and a little curiosity. It's a world where knowledge is power, and where pocket change could turn into a fortune. So if you come across a 1981 Kennedy half-dollar, especially one with a perfect mirror finish, an ultra-cameo appearance, or a rare reverse variety, hold onto it tight. Get it graded, protect it, and learn its story. Because sometimes, the most unassuming coin can be hiding an extraordinary secret. And yes, one rare and pristine example of the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar was recently valued at an astounding $116,000. Top 5. The Kennedy half-dollar is one of the most iconic and emotionally resonant coins in American history, and for good reason. It represents more than just 50 cents of currency. It symbolizes an era, a legacy, and the continued admiration for President John F. Kennedy. Among the many years of production, the 1983 Kennedy half dollar has taken on a unique status in the world of numismatics. It's a coin that, while seemingly ordinary, has proven time and again that surprises can be hidden in the most unexpected places. The story begins with the end of an economic phase in the early 1980s. By 1983, the Kennedy half dollar was no longer widely used in everyday commerce. In fact, most people rarely saw one unless they were handed it at a casino, received it in a special bankroll, or actively collected coins. Despite this, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the coin, although in much lower quantities than in previous decades. What makes the 1983 Kennedy half dollar especially fascinating is that it was never included in official U.S. Mint uncirculated sets. That's right, if you were a collector in 1983 hoping to receive a flawless half dollar directly from the Mint in a sealed set, you were out of luck. The Mint simply didn't include it. This decision meant that every single 1983 Kennedy half dollar entered circulation, making high-quality examples extremely difficult to find. Circulation coins are exposed to wear, handling, scratches, and all sorts of environmental damage. As a result, finding a 1983 half dollar in truly pristine, uncirculated condition is like looking for a needle in a haystack. For collectors who strive for perfection, this presented a major challenge, and an opportunity for anyone lucky enough to stumble upon a perfect specimen. The obverse side of the coin, as always, features the classic portrait of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. Strong, youthful, and dignified, the image captures Kennedy's idealism and presence. On the reverse side, Frank Gasparo's majestic design of the presidential seal remains a powerful tribute to the office Kennedy once held, complete with an eagle clutching arrows and olive branches, surrounded by 13 stars. Minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, the 1983 Kennedy half dollars carry either no mint mark, Philadelphia, or a small D, Denver. Although millions were made, over 30 million between the two mints, almost all of them were handled, used, and worn down over time. And since there were no pristine collector sets released that year, nearly every coin available today shows some sign of circulation. For a coin to rise in value, condition is everything. Coin grading is measured on a scale from 1 to 70, with coins above MS-65 considered to be in gem condition. Because the 1983 half dollars were never saved in mint sets, finding one graded MS-67 or above is exceptionally rare. In fact, only a handful have ever reached this level of quality, and when they do, collectors jump at the chance to add them to their collections. The coin's scarcity in high grade is exactly what drives its value. Collectors who specialize in Kennedy half dollars know that completing a top-tier registry set requires a 1983 coin in gem condition. That fact alone creates incredible competition for the few surviving specimens in top grades, especially those that shine with original luster and razor-sharp details. One of the most fascinating aspects of this coin is the possibility of mint errors. Though rare, some 1983 Kennedy half dollars have been discovered with dramatic mistakes. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or doubled dies. These errors, when authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch astonishing prices depending on their uniqueness and condition. Another detail that adds allure to this coin is the potential for brilliant toning. Because these coins were used in daily life, some have developed natural toning patterns over the decades. A well-toned coin with attractive shades of blue, gold, or violet can greatly enhance its desirability, especially if the toning highlights the coin's features in a visually pleasing way. Auction houses have seen spirited bidding wars over these coins in recent years. With only a tiny number of 1983 Kennedy half dollars achieving the highest grades, prices have been climbing steadily. These aren't coins sitting in dusty drawers anymore. They're being sought after by elite collectors and investors who understand just how rare and important they really are. Many collectors find it hard to believe that a coin as modern as 1983 could command such high prices. But in numismatics, rarity isn't always about age, it's about survival and quality. When a coin was never preserved at the time of its release, and when the odds of finding it in perfect shape are extremely low, its value skyrockets as time passes and fewer untouched examples remain. Stories abound of people finding these rare coins by accident. A roll of $50 from the bank, a forgotten folder of coins collected by a grandparent, or a flea market find can turn into an extraordinary discovery. Every time someone uncovers a high-grade 1983 Kennedy $50, it sends a wave of excitement through the collecting community. In truth, the 1983 Kennedy $50 is a perfect example of why coin collecting remains so thrilling. It proves that even a coin from just a few decades ago, when examined carefully, can turn out to be worth far more than anyone expects. It's about history, condition, rarity, and sometimes, just a little bit of luck. Today, the demand for top-condition coins from the 1980s continues to grow. Collectors who once focused only on silver coins or earlier years are now turning their attention to more modern rarities like the 1983 Kennedy $50. As more people search for it, and fewer examples in top condition come to light, its value continues to rise. This coin teaches us that paying attention to the small details can lead to big rewards. A faint mint mark, a perfectly preserved finish, or an unusual feature can transform a 50-cent piece into a collector's dream. And the 1983 Kennedy $50, once overlooked, now stands as a shining example of hidden value in plain sight. So if you come across a 1983 Kennedy $50 that looks unusually sharp or well preserved, don't let it slip away. You might be holding one of the rarest survivors from that elusive year, a coin that not only honors a great American leader but also carries the kind of value that changes lives. Because yes, one of these incredibly rare and perfect 1983 Kennedy $50 was recently valued at a stunning $110,000.